The Mystery of the Lost Watch.
The sky is blue, birds are singing, and the pig family's red car approaches along the road. The engine growls gently until it stops in front of the house.
Here we are, kids. You're going to spend the weekend at Grandpa and Grandma Pig's house.
Yay. I love Grandpa's house.
Dino Sour.
Grandpa Pig and Grandma Pig leave the house smiling. Grandpa Pig wears his traditional sailor hat and waves happily. Grandma Pig wipes her hands on her apron and opens her arms to welcome her grandchildren.
Welcome, my little explorers. We have a weekend full of adventures and discoveries.
And chocolate cake after lunch.
Viva?
Children jump out of the car and run to hug their grandparents. Mommy Pig smiles when she sees her children's excitement.
Behave, children. We came back to pick them up on Sunday. And don't forget to help Grandpa and Grandma Pig.
We will help, Mommy Pig.
George just waves his hand in response. Everyone laughs. Mom then says goodbye. Peppa and George grab their backpacks and enter the house with their grandparents. The disappearance of the watch. Grandpa Pig walks through the house, going to the living room. He puts his hand in his vest pocket and suddenly stops.
Oh dear, where is my pocket watch? He is one of the most valuable things I have. I've had this watch for over 30 years.
Grandpa Pig puts his hand in his pocket again, rummages through the lining, and looks worried.
Oh no, it's not here.
Grandma Pig raises her eyebrows and crosses her arms, not knowing where Grandpa Pig left his pocket watch.
Your watch? Are you sure you didn't leave it somewhere?
I'm absolutely sure. I was with him the whole time.
When was the last time you saw the clock, Grandpa Pig?
Let me think.
Grandpa Pig scratches his head as he remembers his steps.
This morning, before you arrived, I was in the attic to look for some tools. Then I went to the bathroom to wash my hands. I stopped by Senor Raposa's store to see some new parts for my boat, and I ended up in the kitchen, helping Grandma Pig prepare a snack.
So we must look for him in all these places.
That's right. I think we have a mission for two little detectives.
Peppa and George exchange excited looks. Peppa places her hands on her hips, assuming an investigator's pose.
Don't worry, Grandpa and Grandma, because Detective Peppa Pig and her sidekick George are here.
Soon after, George holds a toy magnifying glass and pretends to examine the floor.
Dino Sour Detective.
Everyone laughs at George's optimism. Soon after, Peppa and George prepare to begin the search. The group then begins the search for the lost watch.
As good detectives, we must retrace your steps one by one, Grandpa.
So the first place to look is the attic. Who's ready for an adventure up there?
I am.
The attic is dark.
Granny Pig calms George down. Well, he notices that the little pig was a little scared and says,
Don't worry, dear. Grandpa Pig will turn on the lights, and I'll come with you.
The search. Peppa, George, and their grandparents climb the stairs towards the attic. Meanwhile, outside, the chicken that took the watch settles into its nest, unaware that it is about to become part of a great mystery. Grandpa Pig turns on the attic light. The place is full of boxes, old tools, and family souvenirs. There's some dust in the air, and George sneezes.
Achim.
Wow. Grandpa Pig's attic is like a treasure chest.
Yes, many interesting things are stored here. Let's see if the clock is among them.
Peppa takes a toy magnifying glass and starts looking. George sees an old wooden chest and tries to open it, but the lid is heavy.
Peppa, help.
Peppa and George push the lid together and find curious objects, a sailor's hat, a telescope, and an old map.
Grandpa Pig, do you have a treasure map?
This is from when I was young and dreamed of finding gold in the sea.
Maybe your watch is hidden in here.
Peppa and George search the trunk, but don't find the watch.
It's not here.
Let's keep looking elsewhere.
Then everyone goes down from the attic and heads to the bathroom. The bathroom is spotless, and Peppa looks around as George approaches the sink.
Maybe Grandpa left his watch here when he washed his hands.
George opens the lid of the laundry basket and starts looking through the towels, but only finds dirty clothes.
Nothing here.
Peppa looks inside the bathtub and finds some rubber duckies.
Maybe the ducklings know where the clock is.
I don't think so, Peppa.
Grandma Pig takes a quick look under the rug and behind the door, and it says,
Nothing here either.
So, from what Grandpa told us, the next stop is Senor Raposa's store.
Mr. Fox's store is full of curious objects. Mr. Fox himself is at the counter, smiling.
Welcome. What can I do for you today?
Mr. Fox, Grandpa Pig lost his pocket watch. He came here early today. Did you see anything golden?
Clocks. I have a lot of watches.
Mr. Fox takes out a box and starts showing different models.
This one plays music. This one lights up. And this one does.
The clock plays a funny sound and George laughs.
Funny watch.
But none of them are mine.
Grandpa Pig, I actually remember you looking at your watch and saying it was time to go help Grandma Pig. But you can buy a new one. I have different sizes for all environments.
I really hope to find mine. It has a certain sentimental value for me. It was always with me at sea on every trip.
I understand, but you may have another object that you want to exchange. From cups to furniture, perhaps a gift for Grandma Pig?
I don't think today is a good day to buy another object. I can't concentrate on my watch.
If you find it here, don't worry. I'll let you know. After all, we've been acquaintances for a long time.
Solving the great mystery. After they leave the store, Peppa then asks herself,
Where else can we look?
Let's take a look at the kitchen. The way Grandpa Pig is, he can be anywhere in the house, and especially in his beloved garden.
After a frustrated search in Mr. Fox's store, the family returned home and Grandma Pig's kitchen is full of delicious aromas.
Maybe the clock is here.
Food watch.
Not exactly, George. But maybe I left it while I got something to help Grandma Pig make the snack we'll eat later.
Peppa opens the cupboards and finds pans and dishes piled high. George looks inside the fridge and takes out a carrot.
I found carrots.
Grandma Pig laughs and shakes her head.
Nice try, George, but the clock can't be left in the fridge.
Grandpa Pig opens a drawer and finds only spoons and forks, and none of his watch. With each new search, it seems like Grandpa Pig will need to buy a new one.
Still nothing. What will we do now?
We've already looked everywhere. The watch is gone.
Grandpa Pig scratches his head thoughtfully. Grandma Pig notices the children's discouragement and tries to cheer them up.
Let's have a snack to regain our energy. How about we eat the egg sandwich Grandpa Pig and I made earlier?
Eggs. Eggs. I like eggs.
Eggs? Grandma, the eggs you used to make the sandwiches were in the fridge.
In fact, we were out of eggs, and when Grandpa Pig arrived from Mr. Fox's store, I asked him to get me some eggs.
And where did you get these eggs, Grandpa?
Where I always catch Peppa. In the chicken coop.
Eureka? Let's all go to the chicken coop.
Peppa said. The characters leave the kitchen and walk towards the chicken coop, not knowing what Peppa is thinking. Peppa, George, Grandpa Pig, and Grandma Pig walk through the yard towards the chicken coop.
Grandma, how many chickens do you have in your coop?
Oh, Peppa, we have 5 very smart chickens. They love to lay fresh eggs for our breakfast.
And sometimes they are a little messy.
I love eggs for breakfast. Chickens must work hard to lay eggs every day.
Yes, Peppa. They wake up early and spend the day scratching around the yard, looking for seeds and small animals to eat. This keeps them strong and healthy to lay tasty eggs.
Peppa and George approach the chicken coop and watch the chickens scratching around on the ground. Some peck at the ground, others scatter the straw from their nest, looking for a comfortable place. One of them is sitting calmly in one of the straw nests, appearing to be hiding something.
Look. She seems to be hiding something.
Eggs.
Good question, George. There's only one way to find out. Let's see what she's protecting.
Grandpa Pig carefully approaches the nest. He lowers his hat to see better and observes the chicken, which looks at him with attentive eyes and clucks loudly, as if letting him know that this was his special place.
Well, what do you have there?
Peppa and George watch with great anticipation as Grandpa Pig slowly reaches towards the nest. The chicken tilts its head to the side and lets out a curious cluck. Grandpa Pig carefully moves the straw, gently pushing it aside. First, he finds 2 large, white eggs that shine in the sunlight.
Look, George. 2 very fresh eggs.
Eggs.
Grandpa Pig continues stirring the straw until something golden and shiny appears in the middle of the eggs. The shine shines under the sun.
The clock.
Golden. Golden watch.
Well, it looks like our chicken really liked your watch, Grandpa Pig.
Oh, and it's still working. I must have dropped it when I came to get the eggs, and she saved it for me.
The clock makes a slight tick-tock sound, and everyone looks at it in awe. Peppa and George smile happily, while Granny Pig shakes her head in amusement.
So the whole time, he was right here.
Chicken watch.
Grandma Pig bends down and pats the chicken's head, which lets out a satisfied cluck and shakes its feathers.
Sometimes we look everywhere for something without realizing that it is right next to us.
Grandpa Pig looks at the watch in his hands and smiles, reflecting on the lesson learned. I think Grandpa Pig will be more careful when storing his watch because it took a lot of work to look for it.
Yes! I think we learned something very important today.
When we miss something, the best thing to do is look calmly and think of the most obvious places first.
Clock found.
Everyone laughs together as Grandpa Pig puts the watch in his pocket, this time much more carefully. Whenever we have an important object, we always need to keep it in the right place to avoid losing it, like what happened to Grandpa Pig and his watch. Snack time. Everyone returns excitedly to the kitchen at their grandparents' house. Grandma Pig opens the fridge and takes out the ingredients for the egg sandwich, while Peppa and George pull out chairs to sit at the table.
Now that we've solved the mystery of the lost watch, we can prepare a delicious snack.
Grandpa Pig places his pocket watch carefully on the table and smiles.
And this time, I'm going to make sure my watch is kept safe.
Peppa and George laugh. Grandma Pig cracks the eggs into a frying pan.
I love egg sandwiches.
Me too.
Grandma Pig takes the bread and puts it on the table.
This will be a special sandwich, as it was made with fresh eggs from our chicken coop.
With the help of our chicken friend.
George looks at the eggs on the sink curiously.
Is there a clock inside?
Everyone laughs at George's little confusion, who believes that eggs have clocks inside them.
No, George. These eggs are just for eating.
Grandma Pig divides the sandwiches in half and serves them to everyone. Peppa and George eat happily.
Today we learned something very important.
And what happened, Peppa?
Peppa wipes her mouth with a napkin and smiles. And it says,
When we lose something, sometimes it is much closer than we imagine.
Chicken watch.
everyone laughs again.
That's right, Peppa. Sometimes we get so worried about searching that we forget to think calmly.
And we also learned that it is very important to store our things carefully.
Just like your watch, Grandpa.
Grandpa Pig smiles and nods in agreement. Grandpa Pig puts his hand in his pocket to check his watch, and suddenly he looks surprised.
Oh no, my watch is gone again.
Peppa and George's eyes widen.
What?
Lost again.
Grandma Pig crosses her arms and looks at Grandpa Pig with a suspicious smile.
Grandpa Pig, are you sure?
Grandpa Pig chuckles and takes his watch from his other pocket.
Oh, gotcha.
Peppa and George start laughing loudly.
Grandpa Pig, you tricked us.
Watch found.
Everyone bursts into laughter as Grandma Pig shakes her head, smiling.
You and your games, Grandpa Pig.
Today was a really fun day.
Mystery watch.
And we learned that when we lose something, we should look calmly and think of the most obvious places first.
A great lesson, Peppa.
And we also learned that chickens love shiny things. Oh,
Peppa laughs and holds George's hands.
I love spending the day at Grandpa and Grandma's house.
Me too.
If you enjoy Peppa's incredible universe, you know you're in the right place. So, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos, okay? We're leaving 2 really cool videos for you to explore a little more of Peppa's world with us. Until later.